What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Nick with Leverage Media, and today I want to talk to you about what you should be thinking in terms of your employees and paying them if this thing continues to kind of evolve and more businesses are forced to shut down. So I just want, for those of you who don't follow the news too closely, I just wanted to give you an update on some legislation that passed yesterday. We're recording this on Saturday, and it passed last night, and it should pass the Senate, and the president should sign it. I think is what's going to happen. If not, I think the only thing that will happen will be some of the loopholes will get closed, or more will be done, because there's still some kind of issues that haven't been resolved yet. But anyway, how this is going to impact you and your team. Two things that they passed in the legislation. One was paid sick leave, and then the other one was paid family and medical leave. So the paid sick leave, if somebody is, I think it's if they're sick, if they test positive for the coronavirus, if they're taking care of someone that tests positive, or if their kid school is closed and they have to stay home, I believe they would qualify for the 2 weeks of paid sick leave. And the way that it's going to work is that they have to get at least 2/3 of their regular pay. You can pay them their full amount if you wanted to. And then the way it looks like they're going to handle it is anything that you pay to anybody that does paid sick leave, anything that you pay to them, you'll then be able to get that back as 100% tax credit when you do your taxes for 2020. The other thing is going to be the paid family medical leave. That's going to be up to 12 weeks, and I believe it's basically the same. Like if they need to be quarantined, if they have to take care of somebody, if their kids are out. So I didn't quite understand the difference between the 2 weeks paid sick leave and the 12 weeks family medical leave. But normally, I believe that the way that the family medical leave worked was that you just had to hold their job. You didn't have to, I don't think you had to pay them through the 12 weeks if that wasn't your company policy. But if things end up getting shut down, like where the government goes on lockdown, like what Italy is or what Spain's going to be here shortly, I think they're doing that today. If that ends up being the case and they don't allow anything to be open outside of like pharmacies or grocery stores and hospitals, they will, I would imagine that they would probably extend this deal to you if you had to pay your staff. So the reason I'm sorry, it'll basically work the same way, to where you get 2/3, at least 2/3 of your pay, or the employees get the pay and you pay it, and then you get it back in a tax credit. So I think that that seems like for me personally, before I knew about this, I was planning on keeping everybody on staff and just paying them normally and just trying to get as much work done from home. This would be a big relief if there was some way of getting reimbursed for the pay for not being able to bring in income however long it needs to be closed. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys, it still hasn't passed yet. It still could be changes like in the Senate, which would then send it back to the House. But it sounds like something is going to be done in terms of making sure that your staff can continue to get paid, but then also so that you don't have to bear the full brunt of that as a small business owner, entrepreneur. So I thought I'd give you guys that update. Be thinking ahead. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully we're able to stay open and keep serving patients, and there won't be any disruption. I heard today from a friend that what was it? He had been in touch with with a couple of doctors that practice together, a married couple that are near Seattle, that just checking in on like what has happened with their business. And they said that they've dropped about 30%, but they think that they're kind of stabilizing at that level. So, and if they haven't closed in Seattle, they probably are going to avoid closing other places until it like really gets out of control. So so my thought process is, and my recommendation is, just be kind of, game planning things out, especially if this, I don't know when this is going to post. Hopefully it'll post today on the weekend. But if things are still normal, like in your neck of the woods, just be thinking through like, okay, well, what happens if a staff member gets sick? What happens if we have to shut down completely? What happens if, our area gets locked down? Like what are you going to do? How are you going to pay for that? And just be, kind of thinking worst case scenarios and everything in between. So just want to give you an update on that, because that was one of the things that I was really curious on in terms of being able to pay staff members and, try to make it a little bit more palatable for the business owners. So hopefully that helps alleviate some concerns. And, you might want to be having a conversation with your staff on whatever you're going to be doing here in the next couple of days, because I think that the people seems like there's been a little bit of shift here in the last day or two to where people are starting to get a little bit worried. So be sure to think through that, be in communication with your staff, and hopefully that helps.